what we are tracking in the news from our newsroom. And this is the News Fix. What do you have, Mariam?
Some rather sad news and gets you a bit worried coming out of Uganda. And of course, Dr. Kizza Besigye was rushed to a clinic at Bugolobi Village Mall in critical condition. He has been on a hunger strike in prison demanding for his release. Now, concerns about his declining health are coming from very many corners, including his family and, of course, the medical fraternity at large. And his sister spoke to the press talking about worries about his health, his sister-in-law, actually. And we have that clip coming through. But the fact that he has been in prison for a while now, actually, but then decided to go on hunger strike as a last stand, sort of, to fight for his freedom. And now it's becoming a critical issue. He was also seen in court this just past Friday, looking very, very unwell, looking, emaciated, etc. First of all, to commit to a hunger strike takes a different level of mental fortitude to commit, because to say you're going on hunger strike versus doing it is a very different thing. I don't know if the administration of the day in Uganda is one that even respects, I don't know, a hunger strike, or sees what that is for what it is, if that makes sense. Like, that is a last stand. It's a way to say, truly, what you have done to me is unjust. And if we don't go back, if we don't have a look at what we're using as a way to punish each other, if we don't, then maybe even rescind my sentence. How do you call it? Yani? Just free me, then we're not getting anywhere. But we'll have a look at those clips a bit later. I just wanted to know from you guys' perspective, as far as Dr. Besigye is concerned, hunger strike, we can't debate the merits or the demerits, right? But is it likely to work with the administration of the day in Uganda, with Museveni in power? That's my question. I know.
Latif is like, I will reserve my
comments.
First of all, even as you were reading that, I actually started getting a bit emotional.
Right.
Because I think a lot of governments are beginning to push people, just to the end. We've seen cycles of this happen historically, when people are pushing for freedom beyond the shackles of infringement of their rights, not being able to speak up and speak boldly. We see that happen, and we have seen instances where people say they're going to either go on hunger strike or... but for me, what I just sense is, and people can say all kinds of things. People can end up saying, if you're going to do something like that, maybe you're calling for attention. The way I see it is this is a last cry for freedom. Right. This is saying we actually cannot continue being captive on our continent, being captive in our countries. We can't and we shouldn't. And Dr. Besigye, I believe, stands for those who cannot be as brave. There's others who have to take whatever comes their way, if they're arrested, if they're imprisoned. He's saying, but why must this keep happening? And can what I'm doing now stand for those who come after me, that they never have to deal with what I'm dealing with? And I did see that video, and I remember, again, I was getting emotional. I don't know why, but I was just feeling like, why do you have to get your people to get to that element of, I'm ready to die for this cause.
Right.
And you see it as a stunt, you see it as somebody throwing a tantrum, and you also don't see it as part of a bigger national discourse. You're just seeing it as a tantrum. You're seeing it as an affront.
That's the word,
to your... Yeah, you're seeing it as an affront to your power. I have the power here. You don't want to deal with my power? Then starve. Right. Do what you need to do. And I see these trends happening on this continent a lot more now.
Right.
I think in the next 2, 3, 5 years, between 2 to 5 years, we're going to see people going to extremes to be heard. And I don't think it's coming from a place of attention seeking. It's coming from a place of saying, I don't know what else to do for you guys to hear me. So I'm going to use my body, I'm going to use my mind, I'm going to use whatever I have with me to just cry for help. And that breaks my heart. So that's kind of what I picked from it. Like I said, granted, there's so many layers and complexities to what one individual stands for. People can push back and talk about moments of, I don't know. We are all flawed, right?
Yeah.
People can push back and say, but he did this and he said that. That notwithstanding, this is a cry. This is not an attention seeking. The family is also saying the same thing, and it's heartbreaking to see. And the fact that it started because of what happened on our soil infuriates me.
That was going to be my question to Eric. Do we have any blame to take as far as Dr. Kizza Besigye's was right now? And did we play a part in failing the people of Uganda in November, when we sent him right back to
But
Uganda. Well, it was not us as
I know what you
Kenyans,
mean.
but you know, but
I know. I mean, there are very many layers,
Yeah.
like you both are saying. There are very many layers to this particular one. Just starting from the manner in which he was arrested,
Right.
and taken back to Uganda, into the way he's being prosecuted in a military tribunal,
Right.
into the Supreme Court of Uganda saying it's unconstitutional for a civilian to be taken into a military tribunal court-martial. If it's a civilian matter, then he should be brought to the civilian courts to face that, into President Yoweri Museveni saying, I think the Supreme Court there is getting it wrong, into the military bosses saying, no, we shall actually continue with this particular